Oh, hello! My name is Mara, and welcome to Books Like Whoa. Alrighty, so I have a quick Sunday shout out video for you guys. In general, my kind of thought process here is more just like general booktuber shout out, booktuber love, and like sometimes kind of different themes around that. So today I wanted to do a video about booktubers whose tastes are similar to mine, because if you're watching me, there's a good chance that hopefully you like me, you like my content, you like something about me, and I thought I would kind of share the love and help you potentially find other people who you might enjoy. So I've thought about this in a few different ways. First of all, people who have like pretty similar opinions to me or similar taste to me in terms of what they read and how they feel about it. I've thought about people who have the same kind of genres that they read as I do. And then I thought about some people who I think just like overall have a similar kind of vibe to me in some way. And like sometimes that's a little ineffable. Like I couldn't say like, oh, this person does this like me, so you would probably like them. I just sort of like, when I watch them, I'm like, oh, like this is the type of content I like to make, or like this is kind of the same vibe or approach to reading. Anyway, that'll be the last category. But all this to say, I just wanted to do, some suggestions for you guys. So yeah, let's just get into this. So the first two ladies that I'm going to mention are the two that I think have the closest taste to me in terms of what they read and how they talk about what they read. And that is, my name is Mary Ness, who is a relatively new booktuber to me. She's a huge booktuber, so she's not new to the community, but like I've only discovered her recently. And Bree Hill. Now, Bree Hill is somebody I've been watching for a long time. I think I've mentioned her in the past, but those two ladies I honestly think have the closest to me in terms of the scope of what they read, because like me, they read both high and lowbrow things. They read fiction, nonfiction, and they talk about those things in similar ways. So even though we don't always have like one-to-one opinions on things, though often we do, I think that if what you like about me is like the scope of what I read and how I talk about it, I think those two ladies are the two that have the closest to me. Part of why I say that is because in making this list, I found that it's very hard to find people who, when I call them omnivores, I am including romance in it. That seems to be the one genre that it's hard to find people who read both literary fiction, like all the things I read, but also read romance and don't talk about romance in a mean way. That tends to be kind of the hardest piece of the puzzle to crack. But anyway, I think those two are the closest. Oh, and I'll have everybody's channels listed below, and I will link to a particular video that I like from them when I link them below. So yeah, Bree Hill and My Name is Mary Ness are the two that I think are probably the closest to my taste. Now, that being said, the next person I'm going to mention, I think if she were to get into romance a little bit more, and she's been dipping her toes in a little bit, I have hope for her, that she's going to find some tropes that she likes in that genre. She would unquestionably be the closest person to me in terms of taste and how she talks about books, and that is possibly Literate. Again, somebody who I've found relatively recently, even though she's a pretty decent-sized booktuber. I had a friend of mine, she was making fun of me because I went on like a deep dive of her channel and like I just had it on a lot for a couple of weeks, and one of my friends came over 2 weekends in a row and she was like, girl, do you watch anything else? And I was like, I do, I promise, but I went on like a deep dive. Yeah, I love her channel. I love the way she talks about books, and I really love that she is really quite an omnivore. That tends to be, I think it is kind of hard to find in some ways here on BookTube. So when I find somebody who I'm like, yes, you read a little bit of everything, and you like to talk about it in like an interesting way, I get happy. So I really love Possibly Literate, and again, I'll have her linked below. Guys, I'm looking at my footage and I realized that I forgot to talk about Jenny King, and that is like shame on me. So I would put her right there, probably right under Possibly Literate in terms of like closeness to my taste. I can't believe I forgot her. I had some booktube on in the background and I saw her video and I was like, oh shit, I didn't include her. I really like her on Instagram. I like following her Insta stories. We have, I think, really similar tastes in a lot of ways. She's also my McKay's sister. We have the same favorite used bookstore because we live in the same general area. And yeah, she's just great. I really love her. I'll link a video of hers below, and I'm really sorry, Jenny, I didn't read my list properly, so go check Jenny out as well. So then my next category down are people who have pretty close to the same scope of things that I read, a little bit different though in terms of their emphasis on genre, but I would feel comfortable calling both of these two people omnivores to some degree. They just have a particular genre fiction focus that differs a little bit from what my genre fiction focuses are, but there's still a lot of overlap. So the first person is Dane Reeds, and I just realized he's the only dude on this list, so I'll work on that for next time. But yeah, I think he and I have really, when we read the same books, we tend to have the same opinions. Like, we tend to react to the books that we do read in common the same. You know, that's been true for both of our buddy reads, and then a lot of times when he's talking about books on his channel, I'm like, yeah, that's how I feel about that too. I don't think we have complete overlap in taste. Like, he doesn't like romance at all. I mean, not even just as a genre, but like even as a plot in a book. And that's something I clearly do like. He tends to be, I read a lot of mystery, but I think he probably reads more mystery than I do. So yeah, it's not 100%, but I think if you like the types of books that are on my channel, you would probably like Dane. And he's also just like a super interactive, super fun guy. Yeah, everyone should watch Dane. So he's one. And then the other one is Books with Emily Fox. Now, I would say her genre focus that differs a little bit from mine is that she's much more of an SFF reader. And I read that, but I think that that's like her primary genre fiction go-to in a way that it's just not for me. But she also likes thrillers. She likes classics. She likes a lot of those things. She also has a channel called Beauty with Emily Fox, which I didn't even know about until I started watching Books with Emily Fox. But I'm also like a, nerd about makeup. I'm a nerd about books. So I also, I share a lot of like overlap with hobbies apparently with her. Also, I love French. I got my minor in French, and she is Quebecoise, I believe. I should say that something that I think all of these people have in common is that they are willing to be negative about books, and that's something that's really important to me and something that I really look for, because I don't think you can really trust someone's taste if they never are negative about books. And I really, in particular for Emily, I really like the way that she talks about books she does not like. I think she does it in a really direct but not unkind way. So anyway, I like that about her as well. The next group are two ladies who we do have a lot of overlap in taste, but I would say that their taste does tend to be a little more focused in highbrow things than mine. I think I have more of a range. I think they're a little more focused on the highbrow part, but the books that they do talk about are books that I'm interested in, books that I enjoy. We have a lot of similar opinions, and just their kind of discussion videos or the way that they talk about books reminds me of kind of my approach. So there's something, this is the sort of ineffable category of like, just the vibe of these two ladies, I feel like reminds me a little bit of me. So I think if you're not watching me, you should definitely go watch these two. So the first one is A Book Olive. I like her discussion videos a lot. And like I said, we do read a lot of the same books, and a lot of the books she talks about, I'm like, ooh, like I get a lot of recommendations from her, basically. I just don't think we have 100% overlap. But anyway, I really like her overall kind of approach to BookTube, and I think that if you like my approach, you would probably also like her. And then the other one I would put in this sort of ineffable category is Elaine Jeppesen. She is, I believe, Danish, and first of all, if you like watching BookTube for sort of ASMR purposes, she has like a very soothing voice that's lovely. So I guess in that respect we are not similar, because I would not characterize my general vibe as soothing, but I love the way she talks about books. She inspired me recently to buy all these Verrego modern classic books because they were so beautiful, and like I like getting recommendations from her. And she's relatively new to me, even though she's a very big booktuber, because she commented on one of my videos, and I'm so glad she did, because I don't know how long it would have taken me to find her, but like I went on the whole rabbit hole of her backlist. So I really enjoy her stuff. And again, I don't know that it's a one-to-one thing, but I get a lot of recommendations from her. So in that sense, I think that there is some level of like taste overlap. And then the last person is somebody who, it's kind of hard to say why I think that you should watch her if you like me, because I don't know that we have a one-to-one taste overlap, but I think that there's enough there that I think you should be watching her. She also reads a ton the way that I do, so if part of what you like about me is that I get through a lot of books. She also does, and that is Beautifully Bookish Bethany. I think where our tastes overlap is I think we often like some of the same nonfiction. I think we have similar enough taste in YA fantasy. She's starting to get into romance, so sometimes we'll have some overlap there. And then just general sort of like hot books, I think that we a lot of times have similar takes on. So yeah, I think if you like what I do in terms of just like the volume of what I read, and a lot of some of my individual opinions, I do think that if you like me, you would probably like Bethany. So she's sort of, again, I guess in sort of an ineffable, hard for me to pin down exactly why I think you should watch her if you like me, but I just sort of felt like she belonged on the list, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know that there was a ton of like super groundbreaking recommendations in there, but I do feel like I really like it when I see videos like this from people that I enjoy watching. I wish more people would do it. So I just felt like this was kind of for the good of the order to give some thoughts on people that you might enjoy if you like watching me. So that will do it for this Sunday shout out video. Definitely go check all these people out. I will have videos for them linked below. Let them know I sent you. Watch their videos, comment, follow them on social media, all that good stuff, because they're all great. So I think that will do it for me. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias if you are so inclined. I have all that information listed in the description box below, and I think that will do it. Hope you're having a really great day, and I will just talk to you soon. Bye!